E.N.D here, day 7 for the players of Strixhaven. I was worried that Strixhaven power level was low, but today we have some spicy cards spoiled. Let's start. Expel 2 and 1 white, exile target tapped creature. Baroque Scrambler 1 and 1 blue, it's a 2-1, enters the battlefield, target creature and opponent controls get -1/-0 until end of turn. Abstract Subtraction for 1 and 1 blue, it's an instant, target creature get -4/-0 until end of turn and has Learn. If you don't know how to play Learn, I did a tutorial explaining how this particular mechanic works. Serpentine Curve 3 and 1 blue, it's a sorcery, create a 0/0 green and blue fractured creature token, put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is 1 plus the total number of instant sorcery cards you own in exile and in your graveyard. Essence Infusion 1 and 1 black, it's a sorcery, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature, it gains lifelink until end of turn. Fuming Effigy 3 and 1 red, it's a creature, it's a spirit, it's a 4/3, whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Charge Through 1 green, it's an instant, target creature gains trample until end of turn, draw a card. This particular card, Charge Through, this card will go hand in hand with another card that I will spoil later on this video, a mythic card. Leyline Invocation 5 and 1 green, it's a sorcery, create a 0/0 blue and green fractured creature token, put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of lands you control. Beyond Mathematician 1 and 1 green and 1 blue, it's a 2-1, enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 green and blue fractured creature token, put a +1/+1 counter on each fracture you control. Owlin Shield Mage 3, 1 white and 1 black, it's a 3/3 flying and ward, pay 3 life, which means that whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter it unless that player pays 3 life. Spitful Bend 2, 1 white and 1 black, it's a 0/0 death touch, enters the battlefield, put 2 +1/+1 counter on it, when it dies put its counters on target creature you control. Square Up 1 and 1 hybrid mana between green and blue, it's an instant, target creature has base power and toughness for 4 until end of turn. Inkling Summoning 1 and 2 hybrid mana between white and black, it's a sorcery, it's a lesson, create a 2-1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying. Remember that you can tutor for these lesson cards using the Learn mechanic. Letter of Acceptance for 3 artifact tap, add 1 mana of any color, 2 tap, sacrifice it, draw a card. Show of Confidence for 1 and 1 white, it's an instant, when you cast the spell, copy it for each other instant or sorcery spell you've cast this turn. You may choose new targets for the copies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, it gains vigilance until end of turn. Secret Rendezvous for 1 and 2 white, it's a sorcery, you and target opponent each draw 3 cards. It's a white drawing spell, but your opponent will also draw those 3 cards. Detention Vortex for 1 white, enchant non-land permanent, enchanted permanent can't attack, block, and its activated abilities can be activated. For 3, destroy it, only your opponent may activate this ability and only as a sorcery. Mercurial Transformation for 1 and 1 blue, it's a sorcery, it's a lesson, until end of turn, target non-land permanent loses all abilities and becomes a choice of Blue Frog 1/1 or Blue Octopus 4/4. Test of Talent for 1 and 1 blue, it's an instant, counter target instant sorcery spell, search its controller's graveyard, hand and library for any number of cards with the same name of that spell, exile them. The player shuffles then draws cards for each card exiled from their hand this way. This is a very good counter spell, especially against instant or sorcery spell, where you can remove any cards from the graveyard, hand and library of the same name. Very, very good. Mentor's Guide for 2 and 1 blue, whenever you cast the spell, copy it if you control a Planeswalker, Cleric, Druid, Shaman, Warlock, or Wizard. Scry 1, then draw a card. Umbral Juke for 2 and 1 black, it's an instant, choose 1, target player sacrifice a creature or a Planeswalker, create a 2-1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying. Necrotic Fumes for 1 and 2 black, it's a sorcery, it's a lesson, as an additional cost to cast the spell, exile a creature you control, exile target creature or Planeswalker. Mascot Interception for 3 and 1 red, it's a sorcery, the spell costs 3 less to cast if it targets a creature token. Gain control of target creature until end of turn, untap the creature, it gets +2/+0 and gains haste. Bookworm 7 and 1 green, it's a 7/7, trample, enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life and draw a card. For 2 and 1 green, put Bookworm from your graveyard into your library, third from the top. Quadrix Cultivator 1, 1 green and 1 blue and 1 hybrid mana between green and blue, it's a 3/4, enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic, forest or island card, put it in the battlefield, then shuffle. Fracture 1 white and 1 black, it's an instant, destroy target artifact, enchantment or Planeswalker. Decisive Rejection 1 blue and 1 green, choose 1, target creature control, fight target creature you don't control, counter target non-creature spell unless the controller pays 3. Closing Statement for 3, 1 black and 1 white, It costs 2 less to cast during your end step. Destroy target creature or planeswalker you don't control. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. Access Tunnel, tap for 1 card less, 3 and tap. Target creature with power 3 or less can block this turn. Team Pennant for 1 artifact equipment. It gets +1/+1 and has Vigilance and Trample. Equip creature token 1, equip 3. Rare cards, Dream Strix for 2 and 1 blue. It's a 3/2, flying. Whenever becomes the target of a spell, sacrifice it. When it dies, you learn. Exponential Growth, XX, 2 green. Until end of turn, double target creature's power X times. Basics Conjuration for 1 and 2 green. It's a sorcery, it's a lesson. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in random order. You gain 3 life. Silver Quill Silencer for 1 white and 1 black. It's a 3/2. Enters the battlefield, choose a non-land card name. Whenever an opponent casts a spell with a chosen name, that player loses 3 life and you draw a card. Double Major for 1 green and 1 blue. It's an instant. Copy target creature spell you control except isn't legendary if the spell is legendary. Devastating Mastery, 2 and 4 white. It's a sorcery. You may pay 2 and 2 white instead of paying the spell's mana cost. If you pay 2 and 2 white, your opponent can choose to up to 2 non-land permanents and return them to their owner's hand. Destroy all non-land permanent. Dramatic Finale, 4 mana hybrid between white and black. Enchantment, creature tokens you control get +1/+1. Whenever 1 or more no-token creatures die, create a 2/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying. This ability triggers only once each turn. Mythic cards, Crackle with power XXX to red. It's a sorcery. It deals 5 times X damage to each 2 up to X targets. Some thoughts about this card. For 5 mana, you can do 5 damage to 1 target. For 8 mana, you can do 5 damage to 2 targets. For 11 mana, you can do 5 damage to 3 targets, and so on and so on. Remember, it can be the same target, a creature, a planeswalker, or even a player. Body of Research, 3 green and 3 blue. It's a sorcery. Create a 0/0 green and blue fractured creature token. Put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of cards in your library. How this card works. Let's say that if you are on the play and don't draw any extra cards on turn 6, you can put a 48/48 fractured creature token. Bigger if your library has more cards, like in Commander, or if you have Euron as your companion. If you can manage to swing and give it trample, remember, charge through the cards I showed you in the beginning of this video, then you are set for the win. Mascot Exhibition for 7, it's a sorcery, it's a lesson. Create a 2/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying, 3/2 red and white spirit creature token, and a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. Unfortunately, not all mascots are included in this particular card. This was the last card spoiled for today. Tune in tomorrow for more spoilers of Strixhaven, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.